You know what we talk about on today's episode? Changing lives. But we talk specifically how to change your customers' lives and how it will increase your bottom line and your business. And by the way, I broke down in this entire episode the next 10 years of your content marketing with ease, your opt-ins, your paid programs, broken down Barney style, how to use it, how to make it work, and how to change your customers' lives. So let's get into the episode. And welcome back to another episode of the Mind of George Show for a winning Wednesday. I'm all amped up, full of energy. I just got off an amazing, 2.5 hour office hour call with my mastermind, and it got my brain spinning because we talked about everything from email fulfillment sequences, and we took 5 emails and turned them into 30 that basically guarantee the results of a customer who spends money and makes them feel safe and accomplish the goals that they laid out to promise. And we talked about building models in business. So there's always this map and this really clear map for your customers that make them feel safe. So they know that there might be 5 things to do or 10 things to do, but all they have to worry about is the one, because you've already laid out the steps for them, even as simple as 1 word per step. And we covered all of that, which then led me into this, which is a question I get all the time. And it's how you can change your customers' lives. And if you guys are watching this video and I'm looking at my iPad, I have notes in front of me because I had to literally write this one down in a note format so I could get it all, because I'm so excited. And so I'm recording this on New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve, and we are getting ready to road trip to Montana with 4 horses, 3 snakes, 2 kids, 1 wife, and myself, and not in order of priority. And so I'm actually really excited to share this. I'm having a little bit of anxiety right now because of the unknown, but I'm literally so excited to start 2021 on an adventure with my family. And it's a real big testament to the work that I do on myself, and the things that my coaches and my teachers have helped me with, because as some of you know, a lot of my childhood was spent in disarray or homeless, sleeping in cars or my friends' couches. And so we're giving up our home here, and there's no available real estate in Montana where we're moving. And so we're Airbnb-ing it and making it an adventure. And so I'm excited to share about that. And I'm sure I'm going to have plenty of stories about that. But for today, I'm going to get right into the episode now on how you can change your customers' lives. And so what do I mean by this? I mean by this is that everything that we do in business, in marketing, and really in life is taking people that come across our path and taking them on a journey, right? And so if we're in the game of marketing, which most of us are, we have a product or service, then we're really in the game of attention. But what happens after we get that attention is what determines the success of our business, right? And so in order to capitalize on the attention, you have to know where somebody is and then where they want to go. And really, to get the right attention, you also need to know where they are so you can speak to their current state. So one of the things that I talk about in our Lighthouse Method course is what I call the captain's assessment. And the captain's assessment is like my version of the avatar, and it's broken down in a couple simple ways. It's the before state, objections that get in the way, after state, and then ask. And then at those, there are levels. And the 3 levels are rocks, reefs, and shoals. And rocks are external beliefs, things that we can look at a customer and we can see they're experiencing. They might have low energy or look tired or be fatigued or be overweight. Those are external. Then we have internal. These are the internal dialogues that they're having. Like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm fat. I don't want to work out. Whatever comes up for them. And then the deep levels, we have paradigm. So that's how I teach it. But when we really think about how we change our customers' lives, we have to know their current state. We have to know where they want to go. We have to know what keeps them stuck. And then we can start bridging the gap between where they are and where they want to go, and giving them stepping stones, or as I say, touches of light from the lighthouse that constantly guide them home. And you do this through the modalities that you teach. And so what do I mean by modalities? Well, modalities are things that you come up with that help your customers move one step closer to you, right? So habits, routines, tools, practices, or levers people can pull to achieve a specific desired result. And so you share these things in your content, right? And so if you're helping somebody lose weight, you might not charge them to teach them to walk every day, but you can do content and teach them the modality of a daily walking routine or a daily habit, and that's a modality. And so a question I get asked all the time is, how do you determine your own modalities? Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to know the after state you're helping people achieve. You have to know where your ideal customer is going to go. And then you have to know what their current or before state is, where you're going to meet them. Right? Because these people are going to come into your world at all different stages, but you have to have a really good, clear picture of where they are so you know what has to be put in place to help them get to where they want to go. And so then the next question is, if you know where they want to go and then you know where they are, what is one thing that they can do from where they are to start on their path towards their desired after state? Right? And so let's say somebody wants to lose 30 pounds. You know your client is somebody who wants to lose 30 pounds. And so you're literally doing content and teaching people how to lose weight, the importance of losing weight. But nobody's going to lose 30 pounds overnight. And you're not going to sell them a 30-pound weight loss program overnight. But what you can do is you can teach them the power of movement. And hey, what I want you to do every day for the next 20 days is, like, you're in our Facebook group and we're getting to know each other. I want you to just go for a 5-minute walk every day. And if you're inspired, keep going. Like, one of my favorite things to do is I like to go for my walk, and I say it's 5 minutes, but I walk out for 5 minutes, which means then I have to walk back for 10. And then there's times I hit the 5-minute mark and I want to keep going, but however far I get away from home is how far I have to come back. And so that's how I play a game with myself. And so you can teach them that, and that's the one thing that they can do in that moment that moves them closer to that goal and associates that success with you. And then the next thought process is, what can be stacked onto that first modality to enhance or speed up the process, and for how long? And so this is where the book from James Clear on Atomic Habits comes in, right? Because now if you get somebody in momentum, right? So this is before they've ever bought for you, maybe even before they give you their email, but they find you, you're like, I'm going to help you with weight loss, but no, don't pay me it. Don't give me your email. I just want you to do this one thing every day and tag me on Instagram and let me know. And I want you to check in and keep going and keep going. And then once they're in momentum, like, oh my God, now that you're doing that, as soon as you're done with your walk, I want you to come back. I want you to have 16 ounces of water, add some lemon, some Himalayan sea salt, and apple cider vinegar to boost your brain, to get rid of brain fog, to help your mental acuity, and to give you electrolytes and tools that your body will use throughout the day. And this is all stuff that you're just helping people with before they even get into your world, right? And so I'm giving you an example as I go through this. And so when I summarize this as, how do you change your customers' lives? Well, you really think about it like, okay, where are my customers? Where do they want to go? And then what bridges can I build to get them to that after state? And there's a really important concept here to understand, is that you are not the solution. If we are ever in this point in our business where we are the solution, we lose. Because you can't be the solution, you have to be the messenger of the solution. A solution could be a 3-step process, a 5-minute workout protocol, a YouTube video, a modality, a piece of content, but it can't be you. And so when you have these solutions, then you realize that these are the stepping stones that get somebody from where they are to where they want to go. And so then you ask yourself, okay, I got it. I know where my customers are. I know where they want to go. I know what gets in the way. These are the modalities that I'm going to use to teach them. And when I say this, I think about this. If you were to fast forward your business 10 years into the future, and I took 1,000, and I mean 1,000 of your ideal customers, and I put them in a room and I said, hey, I need all of you to tell me the 5 things that this company helped you with. They're all going to come up with an 80% similar solution. Right? And so, like, if you think about a supplement company, the things that people are helped with there are probably exercise, routine, macronutrients, walking, meditation, mindset. But you see that they all kind of live in the same bucket. So those are your modalities of content. And then you choose with that content what actions you're going to give people. And so once you know that journey for your captain, i.e. your customer, then you ask yourself, which modalities can be free? And this is something I shared by my mastermind earlier. And so the way that I look at content, and I ask people this all the time, the way that I look at content is as it is. And so I ask people, I'm like, hey, what's the difference between free content, content that people opt in for, and content that people give you their credit card for? What's the difference? I want to know. And they'll look at me and they're like, oh, it's this, it's this, it's this. And I was like, it's really, really simple in my opinion. And the way that I look at content is really simple. For me, an idea is free, right? So a modality about walking and the power of walking and talking about it, that's an idea. That's free, right? If I take that same idea and I add structure and accountability, it becomes an opt-in. So, hey, the power of walking does this, but I'm going to tell you that over the next 5 days, if you do this way, or if you give me your email, I'm going to teach you over the next 5 days how to do this way with check-ins to achieve this goal. Well, it's the same idea that was free, but now it's an idea with structure and accountability. And then for paid content, in my opinion, it's an idea with structure, accountability, and access. And so then it might have video calls. It might have an office hours call. It might have, support with your team. It might be whatever. And so I look at content that all the content we use is the same. The only difference of how we deliver it is how we package it. And so for me, free content is an idea, sometimes with some structure, but most of the time not really. An opt-in is content with an idea and structure and accountability, and then paid is structure, accountability, and access, and anything that comes along those lines. Because at the end of the day, if I sell a supplement or if I sell a program that helps people sleep better, there's only a limited amount of content that I can talk about. And so the only thing that I change is how I deliver that content to deliver results for people. And so then when you understand this, now you look at it and you're like, okay, which modalities can I share for free? I can talk about these beliefs and this here and this here and this here and this here. And then you're like, okay, well, which one of those modalities would actually help me create ideal customers or move my ideal customers one step closer to me? And you're like, oh, this one. You're like, oh, I'll make those my opt-ins. I'll take that content, but then I'll put it in structure and accountability, because at the end of it, they're either going to realize that I'm not their person or I'm their dream person to work with and they're my dream client. And then you then look at which one should be paid for. And then you're like, okay, how am I going to structure this? What's the accountability? And then what's the access that they're going to have? Because people don't pay for products. They pay for access and accountability. And so then you understand this as you look at it, and you have a very clear picture of the journey that you have to design for your customer. And so then the question is, what actually makes the modality work? Well, this is really, really simple. What makes the modality work is the consistency and accountability. And I say this all the time, that the biggest enemy of a business is not that somebody doesn't buy your product. The biggest enemy of your business is that somebody buys your product and doesn't achieve the desired result, because then they become an anti-marketing machine. And I see a lot of people think like their job is done when somebody buys. That's when your job starts. It wasn't even your job to get them to buy. Your job isn't complete until you fulfilled on the promise that you made and collected in return. So if you collected an email and you offered somebody a 7-day guide to detox, your job isn't complete until you've taken them through 7 days and helped them detox. If you've offered a 30-day weight loss program, you have to design a container with consistency and accountability where you can put your head on the pillow at night and be like, I've done everything in my power to ensure that this person succeeds. I can go to bed. Now, we can lead a horse to water and we can't make them drink. But literally to throw a horse in a desert and disappear isn't setting somebody up to win. And so your job is to create accountability for your customers. The modality only works if it's consistent. It only works if they're accountable. They're not paying for the modality. They're paying for the consistency and accountability. And that's how you change people's lives. And all of this can be automated. This is why I design customer journeys in such depth with ease in our Eternal Flame Method program, right? That's my email program. In the Eternal Flame Method program, we take it down and we realize like, man, when somebody pays, we need to take them on a journey step by step by step by step by step. And it's really only one of two directions. When we design customer journeys, or when you design your own customer journey and maximize your email with simplicity and ease, you're really only designing journeys for a set amount of time, which I call duration, or a set of steps, which I call direction. And so really now, to paint this big picture, how do you change somebody's life? Well, first, you identify who your customer is and where they are in their before state. Then you identify where they want to be in their after state. You identify the objections that get in the way of them achieving that after state. And then you look at what you have to offer in your expertise, and you're like, what do we have? What do we teach? What content do we have that helps people move them from their before state to their after state? And then once you identify all that content, which I would call modalities, you're like, wow, which ones would make sense the most to give for free? And then which ones would make the sense the most to put into some structure and accountability to have as an opt-in to lead into our paid programs? And then which ones would be the best to deliver in our paid programs where they would have access on top of the structure and accountability so that they are consistent and achieve the result? And you have this really clear picture of what your content marketing and what your customer journey should start to look like for the next 5 years, 10 years, or 100 years. And some of the mistakes I see people make is like, I need new content. And I was like, no, you don't. You need to use the same content and hold people accountable to it over and over and over and over and over again. And if they are no longer responding to your content and they don't need to be held accountable anymore, you've done their job. Because now they've become your dream client. They've achieved the result, and they'll turn into an advocate for your brand. Right? You want people to grow. You want people to achieve the result. I want people to buy my supplement, achieve the result my supplement offers, and then either go from I use this to heal myself to now I'm using this for maintenance to I use this to heal myself. I don't need it anymore, but what's next for me? And the only way to do that is by being really crystal clear on how to change your customers' lives. And that's by just understanding where they are, where they want to go, and the power that you bring to the world. And your power and your expertise is in what you know or what you can source. And then when you take those ideas and you put them in structure, you create what I call containers. And these containers are what get your customers always moving one step closer to your business. Because if you're consistent with this, all of your content for free is going to congruently match what your opt-ins have. So every piece of that content that somebody sees that shifts an idea or creates dissonance or has a belief or moves them forward, their next natural step is like, God, that idea has been resonating with me. It's time to put it into practice. Here's my email. Let's go put it into practice. And then you're giving them that same content, but putting it into practice in their life and helping them achieve a desired result. So they associate all that success with you and they're like, God, if this is what they help me with for free, they help me. Now I'm ready for the next level. And then the next level is like, God, I'm going to pay for this. What do I get on top of it? I get access, I get support, I get community, I get everything that comes with it. And this could be digital products, physical products. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. And then my job, the way that I look at this, is not to spend my days in marketing convincing people to buy my products. I spend my time trying to create my ideal customer, knowing that everybody who comes across my path has the potential to be my customer, but they're at a different part of their journey. And so if I'm consistent and congruent, every single touch point that somebody has with me moves them one step closer to becoming on my email list or in my mastermind or in my email program or hiring me for consulting. And when you're consistent, the payoff comes 90 days, 180 days, 365 days. Like I closed a deal the other day that I started 4 years ago and I met them. And I've just been touching base. They've been consuming my content. They listen to this podcast. And then I know I'm like, hey man, you want to catch up? They're like, yeah. And I genuinely wanted to catch up. And they're like, hey, can we hire you to come to the office? I'm like, totally. And I was like, wow. It's been the same message over. Love your customers, relationship speed algorithms, the customer journey. You have to use email. It's the backbone of your business. You have to respond to your customers. And it's the same consistent message over and over and over from me. And then as somebody gets ready and they identify now's the time, there's a very clear path for them to come in. And so when you look at your business, when you look at your brand, when you empower your team, everybody must be consistent and congruent and showing up with the same manners so that every touch point is moving a customer one step closer and one step closer and one step closer to giving you their attention for free or their email for an opt-in or their credit card for paid so that you can deliver the result that you promised, which would then allow them the result that they desired, which would then make them want to escalate up your value ladder or buy more of your products or hire you for coaching or keep your service longer. And so the thing to remember is that the wrong way, in my opinion, to do marketing is to convince people that they're always going to be broken and they always need us. Nothing positive comes out of that. None of you listening to this have ever been like, hey man, I want you to go pay for this dude because he's convinced me that I need him all the time. And every time we talk, he tells me I'm broken. And I feel like I'm making no progress, but I just keep paying him because I have a codependent relationship. None of us say that. We only share the experiences that we've completed or that we're confident we're going to play. Oh my God, you got to check out my trainer. He gave me the meal plan. I've been doing this workout. I feel amazing. You got to do this. I feel awesome. Hey, you got to check out this guy, George, with emails. Like literally, I got to write my emails in 10 minutes and they're the best converting emails I've ever had. He taught me how to do it. You got to go do it. And you think about this and it's really, really simple when you pull the ripcord and you look at it from a 30,000 foot view. And so when I say, hey, this is how you can change your customers' lives, your job is to know where they are, where they want to go, and use these modalities and content with structure, accountability, and access, with the consistency that we talked about to help them take it step by step by step by step to get from their before state to their after state. Will you have customers that jump? For sure. They'll jump from their before state, they'll jump over the bridge to the after state, and you'll have other ones that take baby steps, big steps, giant leaps, yard steps. It doesn't matter, but as long as you are consistent and congruent, every single thing that you put out into the world is bringing your ideal customer one step closer, and one step closer to you. So that's what I wanted to say today. But I have a note in here for a call to action that my team wrote in here for you. And so, like we talked about on the last call, which was how to make your competitors irrelevant, get on calls with your customers and potential customers and ask them questions. Help them and ask them questions. What are their goals? What are their hopes? What's their life currently like? And what's kept them from achieving their goals already? And with that information, you literally have the cheat codes to the game of business, because you can use that information to determine the most effective modalities that your people could utilize to take one step closer to their goals. And so here's what I want you to do. I want you to take some time, connect with your customers, like slide into their DMs, pick up the phone and call them, get on a Zoom call with them and ask them. Use them and ask them like, hey, where are you? Like, where do you want to be? Like, what's getting in the way? If I could make one thing to help you, if I could support you in any way, what would it be? I want you to write down exactly verbatim what they say, but then I want you to take a moment and write down what it is that you're going to do to offer them. What message you're going to give them? What modalities are you going to create? Are you going to use your content, put it in a process? Are you going to go reference somebody else's content, which you can do? Like I reference Jonah Berger's books all the time. I reference Mike McCallett's books all the time. I'll go in and be like, hey, pay me and I'm going to help you implement clockwork into your business. Pay me and I'm going to help you implement contagious marketing into your business. Pay me and I'm going to help you use the catalyst from Jonah Berger to change people's minds into your business. I'm the messenger delivering the modality to support you. But I want you to know, I want you to do this in our Facebook group. So in our Relationship Speed Algorithms Facebook group, I want you to do a post and I want you to write it like this because I want to support you. I want the team to support you. I help blank people, right? And so the people would be your avatar. So this is the statement. I help avatar achieve result by modality. An example of this would be, I help heart-centered entrepreneurs ethically scale their company by optimizing their email marketing to the people on the other side. That's just an example. But I want you to write this statement, and I want you to take some time to figure out crystal clearly in one sentence what you do. And I'll let you have a run-on sentence just in case you want one. But what is it that you do? Like, I help entrepreneurs. I help stay-at-home moms. I help 40-year-old men stuck in a 9-to-5. I help financial planners that want to jump out on their own. I help entrepreneurs with taxes. I empower stay-at-home dads to be better parents, right? So it's like I help blank, right? So like I empower stay-at-home dads to provide, protect, and connect with their family by teaching them the power of mindset, meditation, and movement. And I'm just making these up as I go. But I want you to take some time and figure out what that statement is. One of mine that I use that you hear a lot is I empower you, listening to this, I empower you to ethically build and scale your company by teaching you that relationships beat algorithms. And relationships beats algorithms is my modality because you're like, well, what does that mean? And I'm like, oh, well, tell me about your business. And then I take notes and I'm like, okay, so you use Facebook, you use Instagram, so this is how we would do it. It's through podcasts, through content, through structure, through all of it. But I want you to go do a post in the Facebook group because I want to read it. Post in our Relationships Beats Algorithms Facebook group what your statement is, what your power statement is. This is also the what of your lighthouse in our Lighthouse Method course. But I help, insert your avatar, or I empower, insert your avatar, or I teach, insert your avatar, that person to achieve that result by that modality. So the example we wrote is I help heart-centered entrepreneurs ethically scale their company by optimizing their email marketing to the people on the other side. And so pick with it, play with it, use it, have fun with it, run it by your friends, but get crystal clear, empower your team, and utilize it, because this is the thing that everybody has to know that you do to be consistent and congruent. And so that's today's episode on how to change your customers' lives. I'm going to go start packing some more boxes because I have a load of tractor trailer truck for our move. And I will see you guys in the next episode, or you will hear me in your earballs. So remember that relationships always beat algorithms. And now it's time to cue the outro.